Igbo kwezonu. Yeah. Koko nyamili, nyamili. Koko nyamili, nyamili. Koko nyamili, nyamili. Koko nyamili, nyamili. Ibole, ibole. Igbo bunu ndama mihe. Ibole, ibole. Igbo bunu ndama mihe. Ebulanyelu, anamabara na ihe dị njọ ma na-emezi konye ofeke. Anamabara nụ n'ihe dị njọ ma na-emezi konye feke. Igbo bụ n'ndike, ụmụ Igbo bụ n'ndike. Igbo bunu ndike, Igbo bunu ndike. Koko nyamini, nyamini. Koko nyamini, nyamini. Koko nyamini, nyamini. Koko nyamini, nyamini. Hey, cha 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 cha. Igbo kwezonu. Yeah. Igbo kwezonu. Yeah. Ihe ji mara ndị emihe bụ ọrụ aka ha. Ihe ji mara ndị emihe bụ ihe aka ha. Ihe ji mara ndị emihe bụ ọrụ aka ha. Ụmụ Igbo ndị anyị nwere omenala dowe na-asụ, were omenala ndị ọzọ bulie elu. Ndị anyị nwere omenala Igbo dowe na-asụ, were omenala ndị ọzọ bulie elu. Ihe anyị na-eme Chineke na ọ dịrọzi mma. Ihe anyị na-eme Chineke ọ dịrọ mma. Ihe anyị na-eme Chineke na ọ dịrọzi mma. Ndewo, 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 ndewo. Onofia n'ụzọ tọdụnụ ma. Good morning to everyone. I hope you are well. I hope you're doing nothing but good things in society to buy your grace from Chineke. It is wonderful to be here today. And as always, I'm going to start by introducing my co-host today, Dibia Ochaja. You on your hand. Mama.
Yeah, guys, you okay, Majo? No. Every day above ground is a good day. I'm feeling blessed right now. I'm feeling God's Chineke's love, Chineke's arms around me. And Madubuchi there. And I woke up this morning truly believing that. So
yes,
you are.
Yes. And now let me add Dr. Monet. Simona, how are you? We look good in white, don't we?
Yes. Good morning.
Today is dedicated to the goodness of Chineke and patience. Patience on our African calendar. White denotes patience. We must be patient no matter what we want out of Chineke. We will get it, but we've got to be patient. And that's what we're talking about. Patience for those of us who have children, have families, husbands, and we just have to learn to be patient. You know, you got to be patient with these people.
Yeah, true that. True.
You got to just, you've done all you can do. Just move on. Just move on.
Yes.
You can't do no more. You can't do no more. But you know what? Before we start, let me just welcome everyone, wherever you are, underneath the sound of my voice. Thank you for joining us today. If you're joining us on Facebook, welcome. If you're joining us on YouTube, welcome. On Twitter, welcome. We are happy to have you here today, and thank you so much for inviting us into your home. To start us off today is our young son, Chikasielumba. You know, this young man just gives me goosebumps. He's just a shining shining example of what tomorrow can bring when parents train their children to understand who they are and celebrate who they are. So she is going to break the kola now for us in Igbo. And afterwards, I will translate to some degree what he said. Mamano. Let me bring him in. You know, he's just, what a joy. What a joy. So he's an amazing little guy. Amazing. Amazing. So proud of him. So proud of him.
Ekele ndị nna onye mere ka anyị rahụ ma teta. Ọ na-abụ emeghepụ ụbọchị emeghepụ ọnụ. Asị m ndụ ndụ nka nka, ndụ mmiri ndụ azụ, mmiri atara azụ anwụrụ, ọpa nsị na aja aka nsị na aja ga-aba ya ọnụ. Asị m egbuola aka nri ka ọ bụrụ na mgba, egbuola aka ekpe ka ọ bụrụ na mgba. Ọ na-eme n'ihu ka anyị nọrọ n'azụ, ọ na-emezi n'azụ ka anyị nọrọ n'ihu. Nke anyị metara efe na mmadụ nke mmadụ metara efe na anyị. O metere buru anọ m n'ọtụ nwa ọkụkọ na ada nwa ọkụkọ wuo ọsọ. Okike kere mmadụ ma onye ya onye kere ya chekwaba ụmụ Igbo ebe ọbụla ha bụ. Wee sio ntinye okwu Igbo ga na-etinye, anyị agaghị ewepụ ewepụ. Ụmụ Igbo ga-abụ ihe nye ụwa. Asị m onye zụọ nwa nwa zụọ ya ma mee ya nka. Ọbasi bi n'elu, anyị na-arịọ gị udo, ịfụnanya, ọganihu, ogologo ndụ na ahụike. Ụbọchị ikere mmadụ ka ikere ihe ọ ga-abụ. Nna anyị na-arịọ gị ka anyị dị ndụ wee bụrụ ihe ahụ ị chọrọ ka anyị bụ. Ọfụrụ nwa mmadụ fukpo anya, akwa nwa agaghị ebe na be ya. Anọ m n'egbe bere ugobere, nke si ibe ya ebela nkwujasịa ya. Ọkwa eche anyị n'ụzọ ga-agbaji ike. Achọghị izizi anya kpọrọ si jụọ nwa anyị na-eke obi. Nwata bụrụ agwụ eburu iro, mana iro dị na agwụ anaghị egbu nwata. Ndị gboo si na ofeke na-akpabe dibịa anaghị anwụ n'oge. Ikwu na-ejebe etete, etetere ejebe ikwu. Asị m ikwu mere ikwu ga-atọ na nkwupụ, ibe mere ibe ga-atọ na mbubi. Ụmụ Igbo, ọ ga-adịrị anyị mma na Eke, n'Orie, n'Afọ, mana Nkwọ. Taa bụ Nkwọ pụtara anyị ihe ọma, pụrụ anyị amoosu. Ndị hiri asaa na abụọ, ndị si na anyị agaghị adị ndụ. Nkwọ kwọpụrụ anyị ọrịa. Nke a bụ ọjị ụtụtụ. A sị na ihe ọbụla onye na-eme gaziere ya. Ndị ọrụ ugbo, ndị ọrụ bekee, ndị na-azụ ahịa, ndị ọrụ dibịa ya gazie. A sị na nwata gochie ọjị ntị, ndị mmụọ asụgharịa azụ. Ihe na-emere ndị Igbo ihe bịa tọọ ọjị. Ihe ndị Igbo na-emere ihe bịa tọọ ọjị. Mba mba ọnụ kaba n'olu ada, ọgba ekpere igwe, eze Lazarus Chukwu, eze eji Igbo. Kalụ ọdụ kaba ọnyọọha, unu bịa tọọ ọjị, unu bịa tọọ ọjị ụtụtụ. Ka Chineke nna pụrụ ime ihe niile mee ka okwu ọnụ bịara mmezu site ugbu a ruo mgbe niile. Ise 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 ise. Gịnị bụ ọjị? Ọjị bụ mkpụrụ osisi ndị Igbo ji akpọku Chukwu okike abịa ama. Ọjị bụ ndụ mere Igbo ji asị na onye wetara ọjị wetara ndụ. Ọjị bụ udo, mgbaghara, ugwu, nnabata, njikọta, nghọta, ofu obi, obiọma. Ịga ọjị bụ ikpe ekpere n'usoro omenala. Ejighị asụsụ bekee aga ọjị maka na ọjị anaghị anụ bekee. Ndị Igbo ibe m, biko gbaa mbọ kesaa ihe nkiri a ka o zuoro ụwa ọnụ. Ndewo.
That was absolutely beautiful.
I'm telling you.
You know, I just want to make just say something. Amongst all the prayers, amongst the, within the significance of the kola nut and the prayer that you hear and all that, there's a level of poetic beauty in this way of praying, right? It's not just all about the blessing. Breaking kola nut also tells a story. He uses anecdotes to educate us on how to think spiritually, to understand the world around us, right? To break bread with our fellow human being. In my hometown, if you visited somebody's house, it doesn't matter if they cooked the best food, have a table full of just goodies and presents and everything there laid out for you. If you don't break kola nut with them and offer them chalk, in my hometown we say, it is the highest level of sharing brotherhood, sisterhood, saying to your visitor that as long as you are in my house, you are under my protection, and I will give my life to make sure that you are protected as long as you're under my roof. So the kola nut is very important. In other religions, I think it's called, I can't remember the word for it now, it just kind of skipped me, but in Christianity, for example, they drink the blood and eat the flesh. That process, there's something that is called. It is likened to be the same thing with the kola nut. We believe that the first tree that Chineke created was the kola nut tree. So it's very sacred. It is very sacred. So for all you people out there, particularly those in Chiism, those from the Igbo tribe, it doesn't matter how you welcome your guest into your community or your house. If you don't offer them the kola nut, break kola nut with them, and also offer them chalk, you have done nothing. I just want to point that out.
Excellent. And you know what is so, I mean, he said a lot. And like he said, the kola nut doesn't understand English. So we don't break kola nut in anything but in Igbo. Yes. But one thing that he said there that I think is very, very important. He says, if you abuse someone else's child, a child will not cry in your house. That means that the Creator will not bless you with children because of the cruelty that you have exemplified on someone else's child. That's one of the things that he said there. And he said that if we are walking, that we must not run across any evil. And if there's any evil, it will be behind us. If he sees us, it will go behind us. It will never be in front of us. So many things that he said. And I guess, for me, young children don't necessarily break kola nut where they're adults. It's the oldest member that breaks it. The child can serve it. But it is very important to ensure that our young people tomorrow, he'll be a man tomorrow. And he's good training today so that when he becomes a man in the midst of adults, in other words, he's washing his ass in when a child washes his hands, he dies with the elders. He's washing his hands right now. Very soon, he'll be prepared to dine with the elders. We are so proud of this young man. And I'm going to be using he does a lot of things. And I'm going to be sharing it now and then. Today, of course, we are here to say thank you, Chineke, for all. We don't always say thank you. We just kind of want to focus on gratitude and patience for the manifestations of expectations. As in but sometimes what you see is not immediate. You know what you want, go after what you want. You may not get the manifestations immediately. So you have to be patient. Be patient. I think a lot of people go to church and they pray and they demand this and demand that, and it doesn't happen. They come out disappointed after a couple of days. Well, I asked this, I asked that, and it didn't happen. And because of it, then I'm done. I'm not doing it anymore. See, Chineke always takes your hand in the darkness to guide you where you have to go. If you feel that little tingling in your hand, that's Chineke walking you, walking you, directing you to where you need to go, but maybe not where exactly you're going to land, just the direction. Patience will get you where you need to go. Maybe not at that moment, but when the moment is right, you're going to get there. You know, we whine, we complain, it's taking too long, things are just not working out. I had a wonderful opportunity to talk to this homeless man, and I videotaped it, but it didn't quite come out too good. I'm still fiddling with it. But you know, now and then I want to go out in the community and see what's going on with our world, and then, you know, speak to those who are, you know, are impacted terribly negatively. So this is an older African American gentleman, and this was in Atlanta, and he was he, you know, I just asked him, you know, how's life treating you? He had no teeth, and he's just smiling and grinning. Well, so I asked her, why are you smiling and grinning? He says, because my blessing is on its way. I'm good. I don't have it right now. You look at me and you think things are bad for me. That's your perception. That's not how I think. In my heart, in my soul, in my spirit, I know that the blessings are coming. I just got to wait. Even if it means that I am going to have to live in the street for a while. So I said, well, how long have you lived in the street? He said, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much I've lived in the street. Okay, Chineke come, I'm saying in Igbo. Say God's time is best. When it's time for me to get off the streets, God is going to guide me out. So I'm not, don't let me fool you. I mean, I was like, whoa. He said, don't let me fool you. Don't let my condition fool you. Because I already know that Chineke is working. I already know that God is working for me. God is ready to do the needful. So you know, you looking at me. Are you patient? Are you where you're supposed to be? He asked me. I said, well, I'm trying to get there. He said, you see, you're still on your journey too. So yours may not be the same path that mine is. But I know in my spirit, this is not the permanent place for me. So all I have to do is ask Chineke to do what needs to be done. I just have to sit down and wait. I say, Igbo people say, we're ndidi. And ndidi alacha ofe. Slowly you eat a hot soup, because if you try to drink it where it's too hot, it's going to burn your mouth.
Yes.
You see? So you may not get what you want. Just be patient.
Yes.
Patience is needed to eat a hot soup, a hot coffee. You know, when you make hot coffee, you don't pour it down your throat. It'll burn your throat. Without patience, you will hurry through it and burn your mouth in your hurry. You may be having, you know, you may very well have difficulty because you didn't wait for the right moment. You may be fighting against your blessings. You may be fighting Chineke for your blessings. You need to know when it's time to just step aside. You don't have to be in the muck. You don't have to be in the middle of the chaos. Sometimes you got to pull away. Just wait and wait for the blessing to come. You see? And that is why it's so important that we share this with our children. Things may not be going for you the way that it's supposed to go. And then you get angry. You get fed up. You get disgusted. And then you lash out. But you got to wait. Let the divine's blessing flood your souls first. Even if you don't see the blessings right away, wait till it comes. Now I want us to practice throwing our hands up in the air. Throw your hands up in the air and say, Chineke, we're leaving everything up to you. You know what to do. You know what needs to be done. Sometimes that's what we have to do. Throw your hands up in the air. Even when we have challenges and experience difficulties in our relationships, in jobs or finances. But when you call upon Chineke's intervention, then throw your hands up in the air and say, we hand it all to you. I'm going to stay out of the way. You don't have to be talking all the time. You don't have to be yelling all the time. You don't have to, the world doesn't have to hear you every minute. Sometimes just say enough and move on. And just let Chineke do what needs to be done. After you throw your hands up in the air and you have said, I hand this to you, then do just that. Just hand it to God. Chineke, whatever you call the divine mind. When you have handed your vulnerabilities, your hopes and your goals and your dreams to Chineke, let your spirit then experience the blessings. Experience it internally, even if it's not tangible, even if you can't see it in a tangible way. It's in your soul. You've already asked for it. So let it go. Move away from what you've asked. Don't stand there and just look, Obiala, kedukwania, where is it? I asked for it. That's not how it works. The first thing that needs to happen is that you allow it to soak into your soul, into your spirit. Then you go. How many of you like to sing? Learn how to sing. Not only is singing good for your soul, it helps you to decompress. It brings stress down. It slows the anticipation of whatever it is you asked for. Just sing and throw your hands up in the air. Let Chineke's powerful energy flood your mind and let your sense of gratitude while you wait for the tangible physical thing to happen. Somebody say today.
He said.
Huh?
He said.
Let your patience be your stay. Ndidi. For those of you who can speak Igbo, pick up that word today. Within Didi. Be patient. Within Didi. Be patient. Know that when the time is right, the floodgates of goodness will ultimately rain upon you. Maybe not today, but most of us can't wait. Most of us get disappointed, frustrated, scratching every surface just to see where the blessings are hiding. And if we don't find it, then we just lose our minds. Chineke pours love into every facet of your being. See, once you ask for it, it's already done. Because you don't have ndidi, you're not patient. You say, where is it now? Where is it now? And then one day, boom, it hits you. Whoa, it is. That's my blessing. But you weren't expecting it. Because you were looking under every nook and corner for that blessing you asked for. But that's not the way Chineke works. It may not come from above. It may not come from beside you, behind you. It may just boom, just pop out in front of you. And you say, oh my goodness, this is what I had asked for. The radiant energy of Chineke will feel once you pray. But it all depends on what your understanding of prayer is. Once you pray, you should be filled with energy, joy in your heart. And just move on. Don't stay in the middle of anything. Learn how to throw your hands up in the air and see, I've prayed for it. I've done my best. I'm out. And let Chineke handle the rest of it. As long as you're inhaling and exhaling, the blessing starts right there, because without life, it doesn't matter. So pray. Fill your heart with that blessing. Whatever you ask for, feel it. Know that you already have it. Feel that what you asked for, you already have it. It's in your heart because you asked for it. Then start singing and move on. Don't wait for it. It will come. Thank God. Thank Chineke. Olodumare. Tamona jinyami. Katonda. Uzilele. Ukulunkulu. Jinyami. Katonda. Just whatever name you have for Chineke. Call upon. Throw your hands up in the air and say, I'm done. Just like that. Like that man told me, you don't judge me. I'm just going through the process. Yes. I'm just walking through the process of Chineke's love, Chineke's blessing. It may not look like it right now.
Yes.
He says to me, I give thanks every single day that I have breath. I give Chineke the glory. I give glory to divine mind every day. Just the fact that I'm breathing.
Yes.
It was just amazing to listen to this man. And that must be our attitude. And if you have been blessed, don't forget to say, Dalu, thank you. If that happens, if the blessing comes to you, don't just take it. Look around and see who can benefit from the blessing that God just gave you. Even if it's $2, I gave him a few little dollars. I learned more from him than I anticipated. He told me exactly what I should be doing. thank Chineke for where you are, for your health, for your children, for the $2.05 you got in the bank. Because if something costs only $1, you got enough to pay for it. You see what I'm saying? Give thanks and wait. Throw your hands up in the air. Get in the habit. Throw your hands up in the air. And just let your blessings flow. And never forget that when you are kind to your fellow man, you're being kind to God.
Yes.
Because that goodness you're asking for. They say, Akandi kwakebe, akeba kwakandi. This is God, this is you. When you work together, your blessings flow. And once you get it, share and say thank you. I'm just going to play this. This is, my brother loves this song. And I wanted to play it for him today in particular, for all of us. But I wanted to play it for him just to remind him how powerful his prayer has been over the months. And now here it comes. Now here it comes when he least expected it.
Look at this song.
Anyị na-eto Chineke onye kere ụwa. Anyị na-eto Chineke kere ụwa. Anyị na-eto Chineke. I'm sorry, I don't know. It's can you guys hear? It's double.
It sounds good to me.
Oh, it sounds good.
I was just rolling with this.
Was it just one? It sounded like it was echoing. You didn't hear one?
Not to me.
One.
Say that again.
Just one. I heard one.
Oh, you heard one. Okay, I don't know why I'm hearing an echo. Okay, I'll play it then. Anyị na-eto Chineke onye kere ụwa. Anyị na-eto Chineke eke kere ụwa. Anyị na-eto Chineke onye kere ụwa. Anyị na-eto Chineke eke kere ụwa. Maka ihe ọma niile o mere anyị. Anyị ekele Chineke. Anyị ekele onye kere ụwa maka ihe o mere anyị. Anyị na-eto Chineke, anyị ekele Katọnda, anyị ekele Olodumare maka ihe o mere anyị. Ọ nọ n'aka nri n'ihu anyị, n'azụ anyị, n'aka ekpe. Ọ nọ n'aka nri n'ihu anyị, n'azụ anyị, n'ihu anyị. Anyị ekele Chineke, anyị ekele Chineke, anyị ekele onye kere ụwa maka ihe o mere anyị. Anyị ekele Nyame, anyị ekele Ubangiji, anyị ekele Nkosi maka ihe o mere anyị. Anyị na-eto Chineke, ekele dịrị Katọnda, anyị ekele Olodumare maka ihe o mere anyị. Ọ nọ n'aka nri n'ihu anyị, n'azụ anyị, n'aka ekpe. Ọ nọ n'aka nri n'ihu anyị, n'azụ anyị, n'ihu anyị. Anyị ekele Chineke, anyị ekele onye kere ụwa, anyị ekele onye kere ụwa maka ihe o mere anyị. Anyị na-eto Nyame, anyị na-ekele Ubangiji, anyị ekele Nkosi maka ihe o mere anyị. Anyị na-eto Chineke, anyị na-eto Chineke, anyị ekele Olodumare maka ihe o mere anyị. Abasi kenyon ndewo, anyị na-eto Tamuna, anyị ekele Muwari, ekele kwa Jinami. Anyị ekele Chineke, anyị na-eto Katọnda, anyị na-eto Olodumare maka maka ihe o mere anyị. Anyị ekele ya o, anyị ekele Chineke, anyị ekele onye kere ụwa maka ihe o mere.
I'm just lost. I am lost in that.
We thank
all day long.
Thank you for all of our blessings.
Yes.
Unseen and unseen. We walk in the righteousness of Chineke. We are manifestations of the divine. We are renewed, we are firm, reassured by the Most High. Whatever it is that's going on right now, that too shall pass. Whatever those blessings are that is there for us, we will reel it in when the time is right. For those of you who may have just experienced some blessings, sudden blessings, congratulations. I just want to share my blessings today, and I'll ask each one of you. One day, I asked a young woman to serve in Nigeria. I asked her to serve as the National Director of African Women Mobilization Commission. I had had a negative experience in the past, and it was, you know, I didn't have a choice. I live in America, but I needed somebody to do the work. And I'm telling you, I prayed. I asked Chineke, you know, you have to send me somebody that I can trust, somebody that can do what needs to be done. And this young man that has been following us contacted me and said, I want you to be in the forum, because he was following us on Facebook. He says, I want you to be in a forum. There are women who have been following what you're doing, and I want you to speak to them. So I did. It was a few women, maybe about 7 or 8 of them. And they all said that they liked what we're doing and they wanted to be a part of it. So I told them, well, you know, me being skeptical and all, I said, well, you just be an interest group. Can't make you a full chapter yet. Let's see what you can do. So they dared me. They said, well, we'll show you what we can do. Today, UD, Dr. Nobantu, we have 35 regional directors in every state in Nigeria.
That's just fantastic, man.
Through
That's
the hard work of one woman.
I know how hard you worked on this.
4 regional directors. And now they are creating city directors, chapter directors. You pray and you let go. Just say, you know, you always say, build it and they shall come.
Yes.
Do what needs to be done. Don't worry about what comes out. Just do it. Sometimes you're burning the midnight oil. People don't know. But Mona Chiso, right where I'm sitting, Chineke is right there. And when I get like, oh, I can't do it anymore, I'm saying, Chineke is no matter. What do you want me to do? And it's almost like I hear, keep doing it. And so you have to block out the noise of the world and go after whatever it is and just stay out. Throw your hands up in the air and wait. Sometimes the blessings will come. You got to duck. Whoa. You know, this is more than I asked for. What is this? So I want to ask you, UD. What's the good news? Anything positive going on in your life that you're for?
Number one, it is said that every day above ground is a good day. That's your first victory.
There you go.
When you wake up in the morning and you're still breathing and you stretch out and no bones are cracked.
Yes.
You could still see, you could breathe, you could hear, you could talk.
Yeah.
Your limbs are working.
Yes.
You could still look good like this. You thank Chineke for it. Very important.
Yeah.
We pray all the time, but I'm of the opinion that people don't understand this God business, this Chineke business.
Yes.
We seem to defer it into this supernatural force that is above you, somewhere in the skies.
Yes.
Last time I checked, I looked up there. You know, you got the clouds and you got space, then you got the universe and Saturn and all that stuff out there. That's what you have up there. right? But we all look up there as a sign of reverence to something greater than ourselves. We're not actually looking up that there's something up there. It is a form of reverence to go beyond yourself and look up to a force out there that is bigger than you are. And so it is a gesture. That's all that is. But you don't have to look up. The Chineke you seek, the God you seek is in you and your neighbor. Because all God's blessings come through you or come through somebody else. It doesn't fall from the sky. Sometimes your blessings is tied into how you've lived your life, the kind of relationship that you've built with people. So that if you put in an application, you have a good rapport with the person who's going to look at your application. You woke up this in the morning and you prayed to Chineke, ask Chineke for Chineke's blessing because you have a plan, because you've treated your fellow human being with love and respect, understanding that Chineke's blessings flow through somebody. If you remember correctly, when the little guy was breaking color nuts, he talked about the fact that if you mistreat a child, a child will not cry in your house.
Yes.
You will not be blessed with children. So if you're mistreating people, you may get temporary relief, or maybe you get temporary benefit from what it is that you're doing. But you could go and ask Adolf Hitler. In the end, he died in a bunker.
Yes.
He was over Nazi Germany, the Chancellor of Germany, the Führer. And for about 18 years, he enjoyed it. But in the end, he came crashing down and he died like a pig in a bunker. Shot himself in the head, committed suicide because he couldn't face the justice waiting on him out there.
Yes.
Not only do you have to understand that your blessings come through people, you also have to exercise patience.
Yes. Yes.
And you have to have a plan.
Yes.
You just can't ask Chineke to bless you. You know, God bless me, with a lottery win. I'd like to win the Mega Million and the Powerball, but you didn't buy a ticket.
But you didn't buy a ticket.
You didn't buy a ticket. There's no Mega Ball, a Powerball winning coming to you. It doesn't mean that once you buy a ticket, you win. But it's the first step.
Yes.
Buy a ticket. Have a plan. Love one another. Do unto others as you will love Chineke to do unto you. Also understand that nothing comes easy in life.
Not a doggone thing.
The most difficult things are usually the hardest, or should I say, the most difficult things that you want to achieve are the toughest for you to get to. Yes. And you have to go through all manner of craziness to get to that goal because it's difficult. You want to win a championship, you just didn't get up on a Sunday and won the Super Bowl.
Yes.
You played the whole season.
Yes.
You built a winning record.
Yes.
So when you got to the Super Bowl, you were ready.
Yes.
Now, it doesn't mean that after you grind all the way to the Super Bowl and you get there that you're going to win. You may lose, but you learn something. You're going to go back the next year. You're going to try it again. Just because you lost doesn't mean you give up.
That's right. Say it again.
Just because you lost doesn't mean you give up. Failure builds muscles. Most successful people in life failed more than they won. And sometimes you only have to win one time and you're set up for the rest of your life.
Yes.
But you can count all your failures. I could count all my failures. I've failed more than I've won. But one thing I understood that is in the end, it is the time, the effort that I put in, the relationship that I built with people around me, those people that will help me open the doors. Appreciating nature, my environment, my neighbor, life-sustaining forces, all those things that are spiritually connected to me, I have reverence, including those for my ancestors. But you got to work hard. You got to have a plan. You got to be smart. And most of all, getting your priorities straight, having attainable goals, meditation, and libation. You
Yes.
have to have a talk with Chineke once in a while.
Once in a while.
Yes.
You have to pour something, water.
Mm-hmm.
Is the easiest thing for you to access. You don't have to have schnapps and vodka or whatever.
Yep.
Water is just fine. It's natural.
Mm-hmm.
It's not synthesized. It's a natural element.
Accessible to you.
Accessible to you. Tap water. It doesn't matter. You can pour libation outside. You can pour it in your bathroom. It doesn't matter where you pour libation. You pour it. Talk to Chineke. Let Chineke know what your needs are. Talk to your ancestors. Bring them into your spiritual fold. It's all connected. The reason why you're here is because of your ancestor. You just didn't get here from space. People came before you, and spiritually, you must always be connected to your ancestors and to Chineke. You have to pour libation. You have to meditate. You have to talk to yourself. You have to believe in your dream. You have to believe that what you want is possible. Yes. While having a plan, but you must believe and you must be thankful.
Yeah.
For the little blessings, for the big, astronomical blessings. Blessing is blessing. Little drops of water make a mighty ocean. Everything, in most cases, starts with a footstep. One foot in front of other. You keep going till you get to where you want to go, and you get your blessings along the way. Plant the seed.
Yes. Get it going.
Yes.
Buy a lottery ticket. Open yourself to be blessed. Don't feel discouraged and then fill your mind up with negativity just because it's not working out when you want it to work out or the way you want it to work out.
Yes. Yes.
As I mentioned earlier, failure builds muscles.
That's right.
It allows you to readjust your journey.
That's right.
To see where you made a mistake, to see what you need to change, what you need to add to the equation so that you could fight better and stronger.
Yudi.
Right in the journey.
Yudi.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Throw your hands up in the air. You say it and move on.
Move on. Don't wallow in failure.
Yes.
Because you're going to fail at something. It ain't never going to be just Bill Gates. How many times did he fail? How many times did Mark Zuckerberg fail? How many times did Alexander Graham Bell fail? How many times did Martin Luther King fail? Nelson Mandela.
Yes.
How long did he have to struggle? Went to jail, spent damn near 30 years in jail, came out and became the president of South Africa, and South Africa was free.
Say that again.
How many times did Martin Luther King fail but kept on keeping on, took a bullet in the head, but before that, they signed the right for Black folks to vote?
Yudi.
Yeah.
Oge nke Chineke kama chere ya n'ụwa bụrụ na oge ahụ dị anya chere ya. Ekwedula n'ụka obi gị daa mba chere ya n'mgbe oge ruru ọ ga-adị akwa chere ya tupu nke igwe na-echeta gị chere ya n'ọdịdị mgbe ọ na-echefu gị chere ya ezi anyị ihe banyere gị ha niile na-emetụ Chineke n'obi. That's what they sing. They say, wait for God's time.
Yeah.
Even if it seems like it's so distant, whatever you're fighting for is not working. Just wait.
I've been trying to make this investment. You know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Since January of this year.
Yes.
Long, rocky road, hit you this way, hit you that way. Cry about it, wake up my wife and I.
Yes.
Go through the emotional roller coaster. Even ended up in the hospital. My blood pressure was 201 to 127. Ended up in the hospital. They kept me there overnight, brought it down. I'm happy to announce right now it's hovering around 124 to 78. So I'm so thankful to Chineke about that.
Wait a minute. I got to throw. When you were in that state, what were we talking about? Wait, it's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming. Just wait. Don't get your blood pressure up and all. Just wait.
Just wait. And sometimes, I'm going to say this. Sometimes you can't figure it all out. Sometimes you embark on this journey of such enormity. And you start to wonder, when I do get this, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? You're thinking too far ahead.
Yes.
Get what it is you're looking for, then work to keep it and maintain it.
That's right.
You know, when you go into battlefield, when the Allies were fighting Germany and all that, they hit the battlefield, they hit Normandy Beach, Sword Beach, Gold Beach, Omaha Beach. I think there were 4 beaches in Normandy in World War II. Victory was not guaranteed. They were being shot down, facing bullets to the head, being burned alive, being blown to bits. They kept coming until their numbers overwhelmed the enemy and they captured the beach and subsequently Nazi Germany. So is life. You're going to face the bullets, but you have to keep coming. Get your bulletproof. Your bulletproof is Chineke, is prayer, it's working smart, it's having faith, it's loving your neighbor, it's loving yourself, it's appreciating your relationship with your environment, with your neighbor, with God, with your children. Put love first. Appreciate who and what you are. Have a plan. Believe, be thankful, plant a seed. That's your bullet.
There you go.
That's how you overwhelm your enemy.
I gotta give Dr. Simona. Thank you, Judith. Thank you.
Yeah.
Right back to you. But I want her to throw her thoughts in while it's fresh in her mind. Go ahead.
Yes. I've been blessed in so many ways. Even today, I am going to have to leave early today, but Chineke, I would like to first just thank Chineke. I want to thank the ancestors. I want to thank you, auntie and uncle, for all of your knowledge and wisdom and your mentorship. It means so much to me. And I have been planting seeds for quite a while. I have been putting seeds down, and what Spirit have taught me, what Chineke have showed to me, is germination, allowing that to germinate. While a seed is germinating, we have to realize that it's dark at that time. We are not going to see what is ahead of us. So we have to know that when we planted that seed, that it is going to grow. And so 2 things has happened just this week. I have the nonprofit that me and Mashiki, my husband, is doing, and also with my with intuitive science, with my spiritual business. Both of them, there has been, germination and growth with that. We were giving favor there. We've gotten to a certain level. We were giving favor by the state of Michigan to give us a permissions for our adult education that we found out that they don't really give to anyone. So it opened up great opportunity for us. Then we were led to some people that has already done everything that we're doing, that has given us favor and said, we will take this journey with you and help you to grow as we have grown other people. They've been in it for over 20 years of what we're doing, and they were willing to get on board with what we're doing. And so and in that meeting, I met someone because I was, one thing that I was asking for and praying for is someone, an assistant. So a woman came up to me and we just began to talk. It wasn't even about what we were talking about, but she said, there's something about you, and she's willing to go on the path with intuitive science with me and helping me, assisting me in some of the things I do. And then where I'm going today is my partnership with another you know, they're a company, an organization that I will be doing my work, my spiritual work there. And she has booked me not just for this week, but for next week, because I did my work on them and they've never seen anything like it before, because it's only work that Chineke has given me. I've been trained in the spiritual arts, but Chineke gave me something that no one is doing right now. So she said she is so excited. She said, how much work can you do today? I said, you can give me as much as you can give me, because this is my purpose. This is what Chineke has brought me to do. And I will do what Chineke tells me to do, helping and healing and empowering the masses of people, no matter who they are and no matter where it is. So I am so thankful. I'm so thankful for Chineke. I'm so thankful for the ancestors. I'm so thankful for allowing me to be here on Chiism Live to give reference to God of my ancestors. God of my ancestors. You share the God of my ancestors with me. Thank you for that. This is so much to me. Give homage to Chineke. And know for God leading me, Chineke leading me to the God of my ancestors.
Self-knowledge, understanding your spirit. It's very important, because once you understand your spirit, you have a better connection with Chineke, because Chineke is closer to you. Chineke is not, it's you and your neighbor.
With Chineke.
Those people you interact with, all that stuff. You can throw a baby, or somebody can jump in the river drowning, and you see a dog jump in there and save that person. Chineke just walk through that dog.
Can I share something with you?
So beautiful, dog.
When you talk about Chineke, I went to a show. I was a speaker at an event, and I shared the fact that there are people who are starving. We raised a few little dollars, and we were able to feed hundreds of kids, hundreds of children. This woman heard me, and the people, her audience called her and told her, bring that woman back. Bring her back. You know what I'm doing tonight? I'm doing a telethon for the IDPS. She told me, Dr. Simiri, we're going to raise thousands of dollars today for those children. Then I get a call right before the show started. Somebody says, what is your Cash App? I said, who is it? Why? She said, just give me your Cash App. And they sent money to us. So when Chineke is working, Dr. Monet, it's just starting. You haven't even touched the surface.
Build it, and they will come.
It's coming. It's coming.
Just do it.
The question is, are you ready? But you will find what you're looking for. Just be ready for it. That's why I say, throw your hands up in the air and say, I've done what I'm supposed to do. Let the ancestors intervene. Let Chineke do the needful. Step back and watch. Step back and watch. It will come. Oh God, yeah. And in the middle of your blessing, be ready to bless others.
Yes, very important.
Be ready to bless others.
Very important. Very.
This is what happens. So today, I'm so excited. I can't wait till 8 p.m. tonight. They told her, tell her to come back. Tell her to come and tell us about those children so we can raise money for those kids. That's a prayer. But I stepped back. I didn't know where it was going to come from. You didn't know where it was going to come from, Dr.
No, I didn't.
You just did your prayer. You just prayed. I know. I heard your prayer. Day in, day out. But we decided spiritually, throw your hands up in the air and just wait. Okay, because time is
do the work. Buy your ticket.
Bring your heart down. Don't give yourself high blood pressure. up in the air. Get in that habit, all of you. Throw your hands up in the air. Say, Chineke, so it's not in your hands. And just watch your blessings flow. But just be sure. Then I'll get to you, Namdi. Yudi. Just be sure that as you're being blessed, that your fists are open.
Yes.
So more will come in. And the only way you can open your fist is to let go of some of your blessings. Because then your hands open and more will come to you. I'm happy for you, Dr. Monet. It's just started. I'm happy for you, Yudi.
Thank you.
It's just started. I'm so happy for those children in the IDPS, what we're going to do for them. You know, I am going to be right back, Yudi, and then I'll come to you. I know, Dr. Monet, is it now that you have to go?
Yeah, 11 o'clock. I thought 11:30, but she booked me right at 12, so I have to be there earlier than I thought.
Okay.
All right.
Well, thank you for taking the time.
Thank you for joining
us today.
Yeah.
And
congratulations.
A wonderful event today.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I am so proud that you are part of OMSI, because your workshop is so needed, and we are just so looking forward to having what can you just announce the times that you have your workshop so people can attend?
Well, the workshop is on Thursday. Well, every fourth Thursday of the month from 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock is when I'll be having the workshop, and that's African Systematic Trauma Recovery Program, which is an educational, part of it is educational, talking about the different things that we're going through systematically as African people and of the diaspora, and how that has affected us, the trauma that is behind that, and how we can move forward in healing from that. So that is what the workshop is about. This week, this Thursday, we'll be talking about from plantation to incarceration, and talking about the different ways in which we have been incarcerated, and that how slavery never really ended, that incarceration was used as a form of slavery, another way to enslave African people. So we'll talk about that, and then we'll go into the mental incarceration, the biological warfare with the crack epidemic, and even the way that our identity, the way, where our hair and the way that we're dyeing our skin and things like that. What is the root of that? And why don't we feel comfortable in our bodies? And it all stems from a lot of systematic things that have been set in place, that we cannot love and appreciate ourselves, just like we talk about on this show, and identifying with our religion. So we'll talk about that also, and embracing, and a lot of our African people demonizing, thinking that the African traditional religion is evil, and is subscribing to other religions as being the better choice, but not even embracing or having an understanding of where we're coming from, the low self-esteem that we have, the God of our ancestors, like I was speaking of, not knowing or looking at the God of our ancestors and how we practiced as evil. That's a problem. Other people are doing that. And so addressing all of this, and then how can we heal from this?
Yes.
How can we heal? How can we start the process of healing? And so that's what the workshop talks about. And I'm so excited about the fundraiser tonight, and things are opening up for UMSI and all of the people that have joined UMSI.
Yes.
Especially, in the motherland in Nigeria, that has joined, and
863 women.
Wow.
It's unbelievable.
It's less than 5 months. In less than 5 months.
It's just unbelievable. Kudos to you, Okedibia. Let's just call a spade a spade.
Is God, Chineke is working.
Yes.
The love we
have. That's right. That's all that is.
The love that we have for our people. True love for your people comes when you try to emancipate their minds. That's the
right.
true
Yes.
love for your people.
Yes.
Emancipate their mind and they help your community.
Yes.
That's
Absolutely.
it.
Let me let Dr. Monet go. And
Okay,
you
doctor.
and I,
See you next week.
Okay, we'll see you next week.
Okay.
And
Bye-bye.
I'm gonna take a quick
Bye-bye.
bye, baby.
Everyone have a great rest of your day.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
New and improved website.
Hold on. Yeah, you. Yeah, you. Wait, has it occurred to me that you still haven't subscribed to this channel yet? You haven't subscribed, you haven't followed the Facebook, you haven't checked out the website, nothing? No. Hold on, you're missing out down here. You're gonna have some fun. But big shout out to everybody who has been watching us for a long time. We've been doing this for years. We've been doing this for a long time, and this is the biggest we have ever reached out to people. And I do appreciate for everyone who watched the video to the end. It really helps us. We try to give out wisdom and information every single day. Much love to everybody. Make sure to follow the Facebook. Make sure to check out the website and the YouTube. We post 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can't miss that. Have a beautiful time. You have a blessed day. Wonderful day. Peace.
Yagazie, my son. Yagazie.
Yes.
You were going to say something before Dr. Monet left, so I give you the.
Yeah, I was. First of all, I want to put a disclaimer, and that disclaimer deals with the main reason I was in the hospital.
Yeah.
I went to Baltimore for a wedding with my wife, and they had all this crab meat, and they salted it.
Oh.
And I was sitting there eating
all
crab
that salt.
after crab.
You know better.
My wife warned me.
Okay.
Told me stop eating that stuff. But it was so good, I just ate it. When I came back the next day, and when I checked my blood pressure, it was 197 to 117. So I ran to the hospital, and while I was in the hospital, it shot to 201 to 127. I'm like, I'm dead. And then I had this vein here.
Yes.
It started, you could see it throbbing, like it was a stroke or something happening, and it just stuck out. So I had to do full body scan, brain scan, all kinds of scan, chest scan, all that stuff. And fortunately, there was no hemorrhage in my head, and everything seemed pretty good and all that kind of stuff. So I just spent the night in the hospital. And next day, I headed on home about 11:30 in the morning or something like that. And I'm thankful. Yeah. But it is very important that we don't give up on our dreams. You know, we're having service, so we have to talk about that. You can't give up on your dream. Build it. They will come. I always say that to Okedibia all the time. You have to put in the effort. You have to have a plan. You have to have expectation. And when I say expectation, I'm talking about you have to have a time frame. You have to understand what it is that you want to get out of it, when you want to, what you want to get out of it, and when you want to get something out of it. Life is not a sprint. It's a marathon. Your business plan is not a sprint. It's a marathon. As Dr. Monet said, when you plant a seed, you put the seed in darkness. And out of darkness comes light. Out of darkness, that seed will germinate to become a great fruit or great plant or whatever it is that the seed is, whatever it is that you want to have manifest when it germinates and gets big and you're able to, harvest it or what have you. It takes time for the seed to germinate. Everything takes time in life. Even your relationship with God, with Chineke, takes time. Nothing is automatic. Sometimes you have to groom your mind to have the kind of relationship that you want with Chineke, with God. But it also involves grooming yourself. It also involves appreciating the life-sustaining forces around you and appreciating your human beings. Everything is a balance. You have to be in the right balance, just like when you're cooking a pot of soup. When you're cooking a pot of soup, you just don't say, let there be soup, and there's soup. This is not Genesis. This is not the Old Testament. This is not the Bible. The life doesn't work. Life doesn't work the way they tell you in the Bible. On the first day, he said, let there be light. There was light. No. It took years. Out of darkness came light. It took billions of years for that to happen. The forest doesn't grow in a second. It doesn't even grow in one day. It takes time. It takes time for the animals to populate. It took time for human beings to populate the earth. It took time to create the continent. It takes time for you to fly from here to your destination, to drive to your destination, to get from point A to point B. Perhaps as science advances, we might develop warp speed and you could get to Europe in 2 seconds. Who knows? Time will tell. But even time takes time. You understand where I'm going with this? Everything takes time. It is your belief, the plan you put into it, your patience, your relationship with those people around you that will help you achieve those goals, that will make you successful in anything that you put your hands in. And if you happen to fail, dust yourself up, get back on the saddle, and ride that horse again till you're able to tame it. Ride the bull till you tame it. The bull rider just didn't get on the bull and start riding the bull without being thrown off. He got bucked off that bull so many times, but he kept jumping back on until he was able to ride that bull for 8 seconds. That's what life is all about. You're going to fail more times than you're going to succeed, but you got to get up, dust yourself up, and keep riding that bull till you're able to tame it for 8 seconds. So strap up, people. Put Chineke first. Look in the mirror. Understand that the Chineke you seek is in you. It's in your neighbor. Love yourself. Love your neighbor. Love one another. Create a relationship balance with those in your environment, because those people in your environment are the ones that are going to ensure your success.
That's right. That's right. I want to welcome Chia Dozie, Dibia Chia Dozie. How are you? Welcome, Kano. Thank you.
Bikono, sorry. There was a sudden call this morning. Good news, bundles. My cousin had a baby, so we had to go.
Oh, nice. Beautiful.
Madam is still there. I have to leave them and start running down to join the program. Please.
Okay.
So it's all good. Good news. The news, you've been forgiven with that kind of news. No, no problem.
Thank you.
We're talking about patience when it comes to Chineke. You know, when we ask for things from Chineke, and this banner is kind of hiding your face, so I'm gonna take it off in a minute. And when we don't have what we want, we start blaming Chineke. Why is it not happening? I just want to give you an example, and then I'll let you come in and add to it. When you pray, you've got to be judicious in your prayer. Your prayer has to make sense, okay? And you have to ask yourself how you're reacting to the prayer. Because let's say, for instance, somebody says, I want to get a new position. I want to get a new job because I'm unhappy with my job. And so I just can't be here anymore. So what do? I start to pray. I pray for work to come my way. I'm begging. I ask you in the morning, afternoon, noon, every day, but nothing is happening. But guess what? Nothing happens. So the question you have to ask yourself is, am I the problem or is Chineke the problem? If you are doing everything you're supposed to do, then as we said earlier, let it go. You've done your bit. But you've got to ask yourself, you want a job. You haven't applied for any, you haven't applied for any position. You haven't filled out any applications. You haven't even searched for any jobs, but you're waiting for a job. That's not how prayer works. Prayer without action is a waste of time. Dibia, take it away.
Yeah, I'm happy for this kind of topic because it is something that I personally is undergoing for the moment. I've been trying a lot of things, and if you're not going my way, my prayer since 3 days ago has been, I've done all I need to do, and that will be done. I just have to wait because we should understand that Chineke is not human. And so we are human, we have emotion. And sometimes we may be asking for something and it's something good, but we do not know the end result. That if we get that thing at that particular time, it may run us into some trouble, or we may not be able to handle it. And so we are passed through certain experiences, so that when we are passed through some experiences, we gather some revelations that give us some convictions to have self-management, self-comportment, so that when what we're asking for comes, we will be able not only to manage it, to hold it, to magnify it, and to also know it is not just for us alone, it is for us to, yes, endow ourselves and endow those around us.
Yes.
So we must know that if Chineke is spirit, he doesn't have emotion like us. And then if we grant that Chineke is omniscience, it means he knows it in holistically. It means Chineke knows it. Let me not use the word he. Chineke knows it holistically. In our own way, we cannot know it holistically. We must know it in bits and pieces as it relates to past, present, or future. And so we should not always forget that we are just one tiny micro, one tiny spark in the whole of the cosmic edifice. And Chineke is more than the cosmos itself, the whole cosmos put together. Chineke is the originator of everything. And so we just need to be steadfast. That is why what matters in life, whichever spirituality you go to, like some of us have passed through that experience, and sometimes we do research for the purpose of research. We go and speak with the spiritual practitioners of practitioner of other spiritual movement, whether it's our own culture, from the Igbo side, from the Yoruba side, or any of the African culture. When you are divine for, the first thing you are told is, when ndidi, gbatu obi, wetu obi, ekpere ga-ekpe gbasara ogologo ndụ na ahụike. Onye dị ndụ ji ahụike, ihe ọma niile dị n'ụwa ga-eru ya aka. You go to the Yorubas, the first thing they tell you, say suru, suru. Anybody suru, gbogbo nǹkan tó dá ló máa tó lọ́wọ́. You go to the Christians, the Muslims, they will tell you, oh, good things is coming, but be patient. Even in the Christian spirituality, it says anger, wanting it fast, quick. No, you just have to be patient. So whoever is patient, and what you should pray for primarily is longevity and strong health. Yes. Once you have longevity, you have strong health, all things will fall in place at the right time.
Yes.
Our time is not the time of children.
Yeah. Yes.
And then we should not forget that time is us. Time is human. We are the original source of time.
That's
God
right.
does not operate in time.
Mm-hmm.
So our time is the time that we have in our minds. It has nothing to do with the prayer we have done to Chineke.
Yes.
What we have just done is to wake up the cosmic to our need. Then we should be patient for that projection we have done to take its root, gestate, grow, so that at the right time it will come and we will enjoy it. That is what we should be primarily concerned with.
Yes. Well said.
You know, one more thing, and then you can take this and run with it. You know, when we pray for Chineke to give us patience, you know, you know, you're not going to get patience. You know, you don't get patience. Please give us patience. You don't get patience. What happens? You you get the opportunity to display patience, because things will happen. Chineke, you put you in a situation that you're going to have endurance. You're going to have patience. So you don't pray for patience and get patience. No, you will display patience because you will be given the opportunity, okay, to display patience. We are the ones who need to decide if we have been patient when we're put in a position to display endurance. So when we're saying, when we say we pray for patience, well, Chineke doesn't give you patience. They give you situations where your patience will be tried. And then the question is, can you endure? Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. What is that? They say that patience is the capacity to accept or tolerate delay,
That's it.
disappointment, or trouble, or suffering without getting upset about it, right?
Yes.
If you have the ability to be able to accept some kind of deviation from your original plan, it's not working out as fast as you want it to, and you're patient, eventually it's going to work out. But patience is something that you have to groom your mind. I mean, it's not something that, there's no school for patience. You don't go to class for it. Patience is directly related to your spiritual makeup and understanding.
Yeah.
That is part of your journey. Like I said before, being patient is also being able to tolerate failure. Life is about wins and failures, but you're going to fail more than you're going to win.
That's right.
But you have to have patience with life to be able to understand that relationship. I don't know anybody who has won more than they've lost. You cannot tell me one human being in this world that won more times than they lost.
Yeah.
Everybody loses more than they win.
That's
it's
right.
just the way life goes. And then secondly, a lot of people get impatient and get angry because they didn't set realistic goals.
That's right.
Or time frames. Or didn't put in enough work, didn't do enough research to find out what they needed to do on their part to be able to attain their goals.
Yes.
Nothing is given in this world. And like Dibia Chidozie mentioned, time is human construct.
Thank you.
Because in the divine scheme of things, it's infinite. We don't live long enough to accommodate what happens in the universe.
Yes.
We have no idea how the universe came about. We have theories and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We assume things. Then we try, postulate and then try to test it in the test tube sometimes to see if what it is that we come up with that we can actually test it as a scientist to see if it, if it works out the way we're thinking that it works out. And 99.9% of the time, it doesn't work out that way.
It doesn't.
It just doesn't. Without those things that we know we've worked out. Right? In the grand scheme of things, you don't even use 1% of your brain. You have not tapped into 1 full percent of your capacity when it comes to your brain. We just know what it is that we can test right now. If you go to the ocean, there's so much in the Mariana Trench, there's so much in the ocean's depth and creatures down there. We have no idea. We just know about sharks and octopus and all those things that we've been able to expose to. That's less than 10% of the total life in the ocean. You have no idea. There are animals in the forest right now. We have no clue what's out there. We haven't discovered all the insects.
Nope.
We haven't discovered all the animals. We haven't discovered all the trees in the world. We have discovered nothing. We discover things that we're exposed to or things that we go about trying to find.
And we fight over the little things we've discovered. It's just little.
It's just little. And for me, when we talk about people that have achieved the state of Amarachi, for example,
yes,
right, which is a spiritual enlightenment in Chiism, is the state of Amarachi, right? Being a Buddha is a state of being. It's not a religion.
Yes.
Siddhartha is the advocate of it. right? His philosophy was adopted by the Chinese emperor. Siddhartha is Indian. He's not even Chinese. You understand?
Yes.
The state of Buddha is spiritual enlightenment. In pagan religion, the state of Christ,
yes,
in paganism, is spiritual enlightenment. Most people don't know that. They think Christ is a person. As a matter of fact, in paganism, there were over 300 different Christs out there. So to achieve the kind of success you want in your endeavors, you have to journey to this spiritual enlightenment. You may not get there, but it has to be part of your process.
That's part of it.
For you to understand how to be patient.
Yeah.
For you to understand that your time is not important.
Yes.
It is that infinite time that you have no control over.
Yes.
That will ultimately present you with the victory that you seek.
Yes.
You have to understand that. And you also, I always say this all the time, and I want people to always bear this in mind. Your blessings will come through somebody else.
Yes.
Anything beyond that is a miracle.
Yes.
And even miracles are controlled with a level of human interaction. Let me tell you a story. And this is one of the journeys that I've been through in my life that made me feel that, yes, I do understand this God business.
Yes.
Mbudibia. And he ain't just about going in there and finding what medicine for you to take. That's not where I go with my stuff. My stuff is here. How do I decipher this spiritual relationship with Chineke? Let me give you what happened. You know, what's his name? Our uncle, Andy Boy.
Yeah.
Remember him? In 1978, I was 18 years old. Isaiah was in Puro or something. And I got word that my parents wanted me to come to the village so I could drive them back. So I let my friends party. You know how it is, 18 years old, you're a teenager. So I went with my uncle, and we stopped at Uzuakole Junction. The taxi cab that we were in broke down. Something was wrong with it, was overheating or something like that. And it broke down. And we were on Okigwe Junction. So it was hot. You couldn't sit in the car. You had to get out of the car. So I got out of the car. I stood there. My uncle walked across the street to go get a Fanta. There was a man standing right next to me with some goods that he had. So I'm standing over there. It was hot. I said, you know what? I'm going to walk across the street and I'm going to go to into this place and get a bottle of Fanta. I left. As I'm walking across the street, I haven't even completed walking across the street. A lorry came through the junction and flipped over on top of the guy I was standing with.
Oh!
Yeah. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh my God.
Chineke's timing, the spiritual timing that I had no control over, decided, even though my uncle offered me Coke and I refused it, but suddenly after standing there for a while, I decided, you know what? Let me go get the Coca-Cola. As I'm crossing, we heard people screaming, boom, 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 on top of the guy. If I was standing there, I'll be dead. It cut him in half.
Oh my goodness.
It just sliced him in two. He was gone. You can't do anything with him. All his blood just left his body and all that. So that is one incident that I know that convinced me that time and space is a funny business. I'll give you another example. You remember after the war, when our car ran out of control going down the mountain, and we hit a palm tree and knocked it over?
Yes.
And then a stump of cassava tree stopped our car about 20 yards into about a 700-foot drop.
Yes. Yes.
So there are so many things that convinced me personally that Chineke Noah, Chineke exists.
Yes.
I have no control over time. I have no control over what can happen that is beyond my own control. The only control I have is control over Ikenga.
Yes. Your destiny.
My destiny. my talent, whatever my life is, and the work I put in is what's going to lead me to the hallmarks of my akaraka, which is your destiny.
Yes.
So people, we must understand that relationship. You have no control over time. Build it, put in the work, be patient.
Thank you.
Everything will work out for you, but it's going to work out when the universe says that it's going to work out for you. It's not in your time.
Yes.
Just do the work, be patient, lay back, and let Chineke control.
Throw your hands up in the air. I'm
That's
trying to
it.
tell people to say, throw your hands up in the air and
That's
move
it.
on. You know, I just got to throw this in. This is kind of funny. You know, the worst prayer that we do is when it's time for us to eat.
Yeah.
Because we are hungry. With that there's no focus to that prayer. It's like, you know, thank you, Chineke, for this food we're about to receive. And bless the cook, and everybody shoots for the food.
Let's eat.
It is not focused prayer. Your prayer has to be focused. You have to know exactly what it is you seek. You know, you can't just throw words up in the air and hope it latches somewhere. You've got to be focused. It has to be purposeful. Your libations has to be purposeful. I was saying the other day, I had a program, and I spoke on the fact that when we pour libations, be careful. Be careful when you pour libations. Don't, libations is no joke. When you pour libations, you're calling upon the ancestors to come and surround you, to surround the environment where you are. And here comes the ancestors, and you're pouring this stuff, and in the name, when you're done, you say in the name of Jesus. You know what they do? They get up and walk away. So these people are not serious. See, our ancestors, I'm not saying that other people don't have ancestors, but Igbo, if you speak in African language and you call upon your ancestors to come, then you dismiss them by calling someone else's ancestor. Like you don't think they're worthy. You don't think they can bless you. You don't think that their spirit is significant enough. You don't think they're enough. You are in. So I said to them, stop pouring libations. Do not pour libations if you're going to end it by honoring someone else's. If you finish pouring libations and you call the ancestors, then you say Ise, Ashe, or whatever the language is. You don't throw another ancestor in there as the only
muddy the water.
You muddy the water. So be careful. Don't pour libations if you don't know what you're doing. Don't. I'll share this with you. My dad, formidable. I saw him pour libations in a darkened room. Finally, he did bring me in to show me how it's done. He told me not to come in when he was doing that, he was doing his incantations. He told me don't come in. But I was curious. What's the big deal anyway, I said. I am not curious. Chineke is my witness. I opened the door. This was in Auburn Hills, in that apartment we lived in Auburn Hills. He was visiting from Nigeria. Yeah. And he warned me. He says, when you see me in the room, when I say don't come in, don't come in. But, I'm in America, we want to argue and we know everything, What's he talking about? And I opened that. I don't know what it was. It just blew me right out of that room. I just flew across the room. And you know what Dad did? He stopped whatever he was doing. He opened the door. He says, are you okay? I couldn't say anything because I was stunned and in a daze. He said to me quietly, the next time I tell you don't come in, don't. He closed his door and went about his business. Do you think if I saw Dad with the door closed, I went back in? Oh, no. No, I left that alone.
No, Ahai was a totally different, different dude, man. Ahai was something else.
When he was doing his incantations, you don't play. But as I was being groomed for what I'm doing today, he finally told me that he wanted me to come and witness. And I can't talk about what those things are. But it's amazing. It's amazing what focused prayer does. You'll be amazed out when you start calling the ancestors in serious libations. And I'm not talking about people just calling and pouring and water and all that. I'm talking about serious incantation.
The real deal.
That thing is not a joke. So when I see people pouring libations, I just look at them. I say, "You're not pouring libations. You're just talking. You're just going through a process. You're just going through a process. This is not what we do. The real libations is a communication with the ancestors and Chineke. You don't play with that.
There are levels to this stuff.
Don't pour libations and then you say in the name of something else. Don't call upon your ancestors and then they surround you, because we believe that they come out when you call them. You see, in the village, Dibia Chiist does it, you know this. In the village, a woman will put her baby in the middle of the obi outside and give her yam and sit there. And the child sits there while she's in the house cooking. But in America, you can't have a little child sitting out there like that, can you? You come back, that baby's gone. But she is not afraid because she's already called the ancestors to support and protect the child. And the Nigerians in that village understand what it means that she's got that yam. That's for the ancestors. You understand who's protecting that child. You don't come around. You don't come and do anything foolish, because you have that understanding about the relationship between us and our ancestors. So when that child is put out there, nobody bothers her. Nobody bothers him, because she's got that yam for a reason, to show everybody that she is having communion with Ndiche. Dibia Chiist does it. Not be so.
That's all. Correct.
Over to you.
Yeah. The thing there is that you see this issue of our heads being so much messed up. It's a funny thing, because I know myself here and one of my colleagues, Mazen Nabihe, of African, Asian, African, linguistic African and Asian languages, Mazio Keke of political science department. You know, where we call some of our colleagues who mix some of these things, the mixed drill.
Yes.
And then they invite us to break cola. And we say we won't come to where they break cola. They say, why? We say, because when you finish breaking the cola, you mess it up by saying in Jesus' name. And cola,
I think he's frozen. He's frozen. Yudi, pick up on the points.
He's a native of the West African region.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And we say it in Igbo. Oji, so now Igbo Konano. So now Igbo Konano. Because it represents our ancestors. Now, when you finish breaking the cola and you say in Jesus' name, you have messed it up.
Yes.
Because one thing we forget is that when the colonial masters came, they saw the rich in our land. And they thought, how would they collect that richness in our land? And they thought they could destroy our ancestral background, our spiritual background, and hop at the harvest to the church. So if you read the arrow of God, you see that clearly, where the people were told to stop taking the harvest to the gods made by the human hand. They should bring it to the God of the universal God, which is a European God. And so that is how they started domesticating those things that make us who we are, and started making a caricature of them. And so we do not understand that ekpere wi ipe yare, ipe yare. When you pray, a prayer is not for prayer for us, not just to pray. It comes with authority.
Yes.
We do not just pray. In English, it's just one thing, pray. So you can pray anyhow. So that's why in India, you call a small child to pray for the church. And she say, in Jesus' name, in Jesus' name, let everybody not be hungry. Let everybody not be this. Let everybody, in Jesus' name, amen. That is not what we mean by prayer in Igbo. Prayer in Igbo is a serious issue.
Yes.
It requires the careful coordination and calculation of thought towards a target. You don't just wake up and say anything you like, because you have been, for you, you are praying to an abstract God.
Yes.
Christendom. For us, it's a world of life force, potent life force. So you don't invoke the life forces and make caricature of them.
Yes.
And when you stand before your ancestors, when you call them in their hierarchy, you have to stand in their awe. You have to stand in obedience. You have to choose your words.
Yes.
Because what you pronounce must come into gestation.
Yes.
It must come into manifestation.
Ipe,
yare, ipe, yare, whatever we utter must come into gestation, must come into manifestation. Ipe, yare. And so it's a serious business for us. Because we are not, God is not up there for us. The ancestors are not away from us. Everything is in everything. We are part of them. We are the living being here. They are the living ancestors. They are not dead, but they are in the spirit world, alive there. We are just here as the physical representative. The real people holding the whole edifice is them. So it's a serious business. So those who do that, they do it because they do not know what the Igbo meaning, the African meaning of prayer means.
Yes.
They think it's the thing you say in the abstract, and you are praying to a God that is up there. For us, our God is not up there. It's a life force. We are in it. It's in us. We are part of it. We are swimming in it. So we invoke it. We ignite it. It's like striking a match. And when you are going to strike a match and you are going to direct fire to do a work, you must direct it to the appropriate point. Because if you ignite the fire and it is not controlled, it can consume the individual.
Yes.
They will.
Yes, they will. They will. That's wonderful. Go ahead, Yudi.
Yeah, let me add to what Dibia Chidos here have just briefly articulated. In the traditional ontology, at least I'll talk about Nkendibo for the Igbo people, right? There are 7 forces of nature. 7 of them. You have Anyare, which is Anyamu, the Godhead. And then you have Ofonogu, in the structure. Then you have Agunsi, you have Kamalo, you have Ani, or Allah, Mother Earth. Then you have Ekuluchi and Imomi. And then you have Fijoko. Now, below all these forces of nature, the 8th one that is part of our spiritual ontology is your ancestors. They are the fountain for each family unit draws its inspiration for sticking together, for higher inspiration, pride, self-confidence, and noble deeds. So you have the ontology, you have the forces of nature, there are 7 of them, and then last but not least, which is the 8th one, which deals with us, but deals with us in terms of who came before us, our ancestors. I have some news for everybody out there. Ancestor veneration is universal. Christianity has it. Islam has it. Buddhism, Zoroastrianism, Sikhism, Baha'u'lláhism, Chiism, Urumila. All of them. Just like you have God in so many names. Religion beyond Chineke or the forces of nature is about ancestor veneration, reverence. In a lot of cultures, it's related to the belief that the dead have continued to exist and may possess the ability to influence the fortunes of people that are living today. Look in your Bible. From supposed King James, even though they didn't exist. Let's talk about Moses. Let's talk about Abraham, Joshua, Ruth, Gideon, Samson, David, etc., etc., etc. They all exist in Judaism in memoriam. They are part of their ancestral veneration. That's why you see most of the heroes in the Old Testament are people that came before the present Jewish community as it is constructed and exists today. Somebody came before you. What they did and their influence is what you are existing upon today. Your culture, your traditions, your belief in Chineke. Everything that you are today is based on ancestral veneration because they came before you and passed on your belief. Whatever you believe today came from somewhere. It didn't fall from the sky. But the unfortunate thing is when you talk about ancestral veneration or reverence in African spirituality, Africans look at it as if you're talking about some devil or some demon, forgetting that the Bible they read themselves is full of ancestors of Jews. Abraham is a Jewish ancestor. So is his wife. Adam is a Jewish ancestor. So is Eve. Lot is a Jewish ancestor. So is his wife. Moses is a Jewish ancestor. Everywhere you go in the Bible is full of ancestral reverence. Those people that talked about God, those people that says that God found them in God's, or according to them, in his favor. Gideon, God found Moses, was favored by Chineke, Abraham, David, Samson. They were all favored by Chineke. There's a relationship there between the ancestors and the present construct of the community. So we're not the only ones that are involved in ancestral reverence. Christians are doing it, Muslims are doing it, Buddhists are doing it, Sikhs, Hindus, every religion in the world that believes in a supreme being. Not every religion believes in supreme being. Not all of them. Shintoism definitely doesn't deal with Chineke. Ancestral reverence, for the most part, is part of theology. It's part of it. Your ancestors are no more dangerous than the Christian ancestor. My ancestors, is no more dangerous than David or Moses. Nelson Mandela is no more dangerous than Gideon. Martin Luther King is no more dangerous than whatever. We come from our ancestors. Those people that came before us are regarded as our ancestors. Some from the community perspective, some from a direct family lineage. Your specific way of ancestral reverence really depends on what it is that you want to do and how you look upon your ancestors and which is important to you and which is not important to you. And one thing that we know that is important is community ancestral lineage. We came from somewhere. In Chiism, we came from Ifenta and Aja, and all the subsequent generations after that, there's a direct lineage to the first man and the first woman in our community. Whatever our spiritual beliefs are. You know, Hindus have their own idea of who the first man and who the first woman is. It's not Adam and Eve. In the Mayan spiritual, circles, their belief in who the first man and first woman is different from that of the Incas or the Aztecs. My belief in Igbo land of the first person in my village is probably different from the belief of the guy in the Nnewi who is probably talking about Ezemri or whatever. My belief is different from the Yoruba in Orumila religion. Orumila is but we're all in religion involved in ancestral veneration, reverence. As long as you believe in a supreme being, and as long as you believe in lineage, as long as your community, your religion, your people have a concept of a first call and the first man and the first woman, we in theology, in religion, are all involved in ancestral veneration. So when you hear about Africans talking about our ancestors, please understand your ancestors are no more dangerous than Jewish ancestors or European ancestors.
Say it again.
Talk about King Henry VIII, King Richard I, King Edward II, blah, 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 blah. King Louis of France, Louis XIII, the shoguns, Kublai Khan, Genghis Khan. We talk about all these other heroes of everybody else, but we can talk about our own.
Yes.
Those are ancestors to those cultures and religions and communities, but we can't talk about ours. We must understand our ancestral relationship as human beings and know that whatever it is that we're doing, everybody else is doing it. So when they point their fingers, understand there's another finger pointing right back at you. We ain't doing nothing that you're not doing. What you're doing, we're doing. But we're doing it our own way, and we will not justify our worth by standards that are not of our own choosing.
That's right. Say it again. Yes, yes, yes. You know, we'll be right back. I'm going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Undewo. Long life to y'all. Hey, how y'all doing, man? You know what I'm saying? I'm just walking out here in nature, and I just felt like I had to say thank you all for showing us the support. Because I know there's been technical problems and been a lot of things going on in the world, but y'all stay and tune in every Sunday. And I much appreciate y'all for all the support. Over 11,000. I said 11,000. 111 subs on YouTube. So much love. Appreciate y'all. And I know there's over like thousands over on Facebook. But make sure to tune into our YouTube every Sunday. You know what I'm saying? Turn on the post notifications. Like, comment, subscribe. Gosh. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. It will be much appreciated. And y'all have a wonderful day and have a blessed day. God bless you.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. You know what? I just want to take a moment here and talk about something that's going to be the focus of our conversation next Sunday. Who can tell me what this is? Okwanzu.
Yeah.
Dibia Dozie, that's your charge next Sunday. You're going to talk about the Okwanzu.
Okay.
Namdi, Yudi, you're going to talk about the Okwanzu because this is a very important aspect of what we do. It's an important aspect of our spiritual culture. Our interpersonal relationship is very significant. And you know what? One of the things that is disturbing is how we don't value these things, but other people value it. We are the only people who come and take our things, give it back to us, and we think we got something new. My dad had a saying that he always, you know, if you remember, dad doesn't throw away anything. Before he throws out something, he wants to make sure that it has no value before he throws it away. So he will tell us, I
remember that.
You never forget that.
Yeah.
When you own something and you throw it away, you will never get rich. Because richness means the increase of something, not the dwindling of something. So you want to make sure before you throw it away that it has no value, which is what we have done. The richness in African spiritual culture is unrivaled. And yet, do you know who appreciates it? Go to TikTok and see who's practicing our practices. What we're throwing away. You go there, you see Caucasians, you see Asians. They are using your own programs, your own concepts, giving it back to you. And only after they've given it back to you do you appreciate it. You was sitting on your mama's and your daddy's center table, and you kick it to the side. You call it fekwensu, you call it all kinds of things. But you don't understand the value, what's behind that, what the ancestors practice. You know what? I thank my mother and father every single day that I have breath for raising me a Chiist, because they taught me to appreciate who I am. Nobody can tell me who I am. I see things that are African. It doesn't mean that I don't appreciate other people's culture. That's not the point. But I realize the essence of who I am is also included in some of the things that my ancestors left behind. It behooves me to scrutinize if I must, but learn what it is. What's behind this stuff? Why are they doing that? If I begin or again, what is it? You can't talk about what other people are doing to you when you allow it. All the things that we throw away is someone else's wealth. Now, let me tell you something. When they were coming to Africa and stealing our art pieces, who told them they could take that? You know why they could take it? We didn't value it. They gave us their little shiny objects. Hey, that sounds better. Here, take it. Then you say, now you say they stole it. You gave it to them. You allowed it. Didn't we have men then? Are these people not men that came and took your things? And you want to say they came and stole? In LA, in Ora. Where were you? Now, I'm going to be honest, my brothers and sisters. We can complain about what people did to us. And the question is, in LA, where were you? There are some things you had no control. Yes, when they came with their muskets and stuff, for some reason, to some degree, you couldn't fight that. But there are some things that you willingly gave away because you embraced something new, some shiny object, and you threw your own away. I had people that are, when they come to my house and I give them, as you well know, this is the inside, it's got the white chalk. It's my tradition. If you don't like it, that's just too bad. This is who I am. Yeah, woman alam. This is my culture. When people come to me, I give them the okwanzu. They stick their right middle finger and they smear on the left wrist. That means they're welcome. We're going to talk about all of that next week, because Dibia Children, you know about this. You know about this.
Of course.
We're going to talk about it. But I have presented it to some people who say, oh my God, these are Igbos. Because they have been convinced that their thing is no good. There's my dad, he always tells us before he starts to sing that he can't sing. But it isn't his song, the singing, the voice. It's the content of his song. Usually when he says, some people just hate themselves and everything their own. They love everything foreign.
Noah sings it too.
A nation of such people can never progress till they learn to love their things. If we can't love our own things, then you cannot blame others for not loving us. Not that we need anybody to love us. If we can just validate ourselves, that's good enough. So we're going to talk about that. So for those of you who are interested in the Okwanzu and all that it means, Dibia Chiodozie and Dibia Yudi are going to talk about it extensively. The next program next week is strictly about the Okwanzu. We're going to talk about the spiritual, the spiritual aspect of it. We're going to talk about the cultural, the welcoming. What does it mean when somebody presents you with Okwanzu? I want Dibia Chiodozie to go way inside. Because I'm telling you, when I present this to somebody and they say, oh, what is that? Oh, I'm a Christian. What the heck does that have to do with anything? Your Christianity or your Islam and all that, it has nothing to do with this. This is culture. You can be anything you want to be. You can claim any religion you want to claim, but you cannot despise your own things. No such nation can ever progress when they despise their own things. Dibia Chiist Dozier, UD, take it away. Conclude on this, the significance of what we're going to talk about next week.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Very, very important. Very, very important part of what we call communion. Yes, that's the word that was skipping my mind. It's part of the communion when you welcome people into your community or you welcome somebody into your home, right?
Yes.
The Okwanzo contains the two most important ingredients in this communion process, which is the oje and nzu. And as we're going to learn next week, those are the two most important things that you can do for a visitor when they come to your house, because it signifies that under your roof, that under your protection, and you're willing to put your life down on the line to protect them. When you are able to do something like that, offer your visitor nzu or oje, it is the height of communion, not just with your visitor, but with Chineke and the ancestors, right? If, like I mentioned before, somebody comes to your house, you give them beer, you give them big meat, you give them vegetables, you give them food, you give them all kinds of food and everything to eat. If you haven't given them okwa, nzu and kola nut, not one without the other. I understand. You can't give them nzu and not give them kola nut. You can't give them kola nut. In Ukporara, I say,
don't give away. Don't tell everything. You're gonna talk about it.
But what I'm saying, it's the most important thing that you could do in communion when visitors come to your house. So in our spirituality, it's very significant.
Yes.
Very.
Yeah. Thank you. Dibia,
I remember when the Okwanzu was first brought to my office, because I have it in my office, but not exactly the way it is. I have my own in just one little oko. And usually, when you come there, the kola nut should be there, the white chalk, not the industrial chalk, the chalk from nature, the way it is from nature.
Yeah.
And then the alligator pepper, also geosensi. And so news spread all over my relatives and all my relatives, my kindred, that I am now into heavy jazz. I do so much jazz that I place the symbol of jazz in my office. So, but as usual, I'm undeterred, so I kept doing what I would do. When they come to my office, insofar as you speak the same language as me, or you want to talk about anything African, I will present it to you. And if you don't know what to do with it, I tell you what to do, what they symbolize. And those, surprisingly, those who take to, oh, yeah, Asians and Europeans, Americans, oh, yeah, this for peace, love, oh, they take it. Oh, this for life, oh, this authority, oh, no, they take it. And they want to take pictures with it. They want me to tell stories about it, what it symbolizes. And just to sum it up, the difference between them and us is that they have moved their spirituality beyond mere practice to concepts. They understand everything they do as a concept. Ideas, concepts formed into theories, into laws.
Yes. And we will continue. We will continue next week, because I want people to be excited, because I want you to share too much. And we have come to the end of our program. Remember, when you pray purposefully. Don't call upon the ancestors and insult them with your ending statements. Be careful what you're saying. And I am looking forward to seeing all of you again next Sunday. Whatever you touch, may nothing but goodness follow you. May the ancestors be with you. May Chineke surround you with all that is good and everything that you pray for. Throw your hands up in the air and just watch.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
I will
all
see.
right.
You.